It's already June 1st of 2024, and there's already a lot of things also happening at all different divisions over at the Walt Disney Company. Divisions such as, for example, Pixar, the Walt Disney Animation Studios segment, as well as Lucasfilm, Marvel Studios, and among others, that are really in a downward spiral, all because of Bob Iger's lack of leadership skills and his 100% deliberate agenda. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, what's very interesting about everything moving onwards when it comes down to Disney is that Bob Iger continues to lie. He will say time and time again that the Walt Disney Company is not about any kind of an agenda, nor is it about engaging in any kind of a culture war, when in reality it is exactly that. That's exactly what they are chasing, and that's exactly what they 100% support. And so, when Bob Iger lies, alright, he will string along the shareholders, he will string along the customers as much as he can into the following year as much as possible. Now, what's interesting about this is that there's a lot of things going on. Different organizations, studios, individuals, really taking shots at Disney, mocking Disney, and just to name a few, you got Elon Musk, you got the Daily Wire, and the best of all, South Park Studios. Let's get into it. You know, there's a lot of things that have been going on behind the scenes over at South Park Studios and Paramount Global ever since the Panderverse special debuted in late 2023. I'm sure that you guys all recall when that specific episode really took a jab at Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, the Disney board, and the whole concept of race swapping and gender swapping in the overall Hollywood structure, right, when it comes to the current movies. Now, what's interesting about this is that there's a lot of things that Trey Parker and Matt Stone are up to when it comes down to Joy Behar. Let's go over this. Now, specifically with all divisions at the Walt Disney Company beginning to go downhill, one after the other, due to Iger's cost containment strategy, one major development now has much to do with Joy Behar of The View and what South Park Studios and Paramount Global actively, of course, are involved in with their DEI special that they plan to drop sometime by next year. With the DEI special set to be all about Disney, Bob Iger, and Kathleen Kennedy, and among others, that have brought Disney down to complete failure, one other aspect that both Trey Parker and Matt Stone are currently working on is a complete mockery in the form of parody for Joy Behar and her TV show and her co-host of The View. Both Parker and Stone recently made this fully aware to the Walt Disney Company after Bob Iger recently backed off from taking a legal stance against them for the Panderverse special that went on for a couple of months. In the conclusion of those arguments, conversations, of course, were exchanged between executives of South Park Studios and Paramount Global that many individuals connected to Disney will be mocked in their 2025 special, including Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg for starters. Both Parker and Stone are actively working on the DEI special Part 1 and Part 2 that they plan to release on Paramount Plus in 2025 that will also bump ratings for South Park on Comedy Central without a doubt, and other platforms as well. Now, one surprising turn of events, however, is that Behar reportedly knows about the parody of herself and Whoopi Goldberg and the works by these two studios, and it was made aware to her recently from some of the top Disney executives after they concluded their arguments with Paramount Global and South Park. As of now, Trey Parker and Matt Stone are focusing on a parody story element where both Behar and Whoopi Goldberg will serve, or will be mocked, as bodyguards of Kathleen Kennedy and her Panderstone, since the Panderstone is set to return in the DEI special Part 1 and 2 that is actively in the works. Parker and Stone have even discussed a parody element where another magical stone, of course, transforms both Behar and Goldberg into literal cows as part of the show that will take a jab at the concept of milking franchises for all they are worth, with protecting those like Kathleen Kennedy. Parker and Stone are planning to mock nearly every individual on television that's associated with Disney, or ones that fully support their DEI agendas, that will be incorporated into the show, the two-part special that serves as a sequel to the Panderverse. In addition to this, this is where it gets interesting. Bob Iger and the Disney heads even begged South Park Studios and Paramount to withdraw from developing this special. Iger reportedly had a meeting with those studio executives that it would be damaging and flat-out reckless behavior to mock the company in such a way that would be damaging. However, Iger cannot do a single thing on a legal scale, even though Disney's legal team tried initially. This all falls under parody and hence fair use. Now guys, before I move on, this is a real thing. This is a parody. It's fair use. There's nothing that Disney can do about that. That's the reality here. No matter how many times Disney tried to take down South Park and Paramount when they debuted the Panderverse special, we talked about this for many months, and it's been quiet for a while because this pretty much, lingered for a while and it eventually just died out. But they concluded Bob Iger was not able to do a damn thing about it and backed off, and that was great. Now, you have a situation like this where they are going all out, where this special, this two-parter event that's actively in the early stages, is going to be all about Disney up front and center. Alright? Now, with the Panderverse, it wasn't fully expected at first to be about Disney. This is all going to be about Disney. They're going to take jabs at Disney from any single corner that they can find. And what I find interesting about that is that just goes to show you how large the backlash has been from those that walked away from Disney Plus, the theme parks, ESPN, and among others like Hulu and Star Wars / Marvel. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? The Disney live-action remakes. I mean, I can go on forever here. But moving onwards, Joy Behar is also already attempting to converse with the executives connected to South Park and Paramount Global in a desperate move to put an end to her cameo parody in the Panderverse, or should I say the Panderverse sequel, because this is going to be served as a sequel, but it's going to be called the DEI Special. Whoopi Goldberg is said to be doing the same as well, since she was very unhappy and offended at Parker and Stone when they previously took shots at her. I don't know if you guys remember that. But what's interesting about this is that this is interesting, the fact that you got Parker and Stone, Elon Musk, the Daily Wire, others, of course, beginning to wake up and go against Disney, go against Bob Iger, and even Kathleen Kennedy at full speed, and it's not going to stop with them. I'm sure that you're going to get more and more people out there beginning to call out Disney for what they're really about and what they really are shoehorning into the general public that nobody wants to see. Right? That's why so many different brands out there have dealt with endless box office failures, is it's all about a message, it's all about an agenda at the end of the day, right? That's all what Bob Iger wants to do, and a lot of it has to do with the funds coming in from the top 3 shareholders, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, the top 3 shareholders of the Walt Disney Company, mind you, and that's another big deal as well. So overall, I mean, like I say, there's a lot of things going on here with Kathleen Kennedy, with Bob Iger, with everyone else intact over at Disney and what's been going on there. So I mean, look, I think it's really, inspiring that we have people like Elon Musk, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, the Daily Wire, really just putting it out there in the open and waking a lot of people up that may not be fully informed about who Kathleen Kennedy is, what she's all about, Bob Iger, what he's all about over at Disney as the CEO, and everything else happening in between. Those like Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, who really are like the voices of the Disney company that try to protect it at all costs. So anyways, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.